Morning. When we start meditation or do Zazen, it's important to understand actually what we're meditating on. So it's not the thinking. Of course, the thinking mind. There's the mind that the mind that thinks, but then the mind that thinks thoughts that we get caught up in. So it could be a negative thought, or it could be a positive thought. But we disengage and we let the thoughts go, and we also let the mind express what the mind needs to express. So it's not trying to get away from thoughts, but not getting caught up in the objects of the thoughts that are outside of oneself. So it could be the objects of it could be that the incense burner that we get caught up, and that's outside of oneself. Or when we do meditation too, or Zazen, it's very important that we actually keep our eyes open, because you can have internal thoughts in which then you get caught up in. So to disengage, or to become one with. When we take the seated posture, it's all these parts of opposite parts. So it's our hands and our legs, and we make them this posture of Zazen, which is upright, and it's very upright. I was just reading upright, and you push the back, kind of the crown of the head, up towards the sky. So the more we close our eyes and then also go in. But Zazen, it's a turning out. It's really important. So how we stand, how we walk, how we sit is important for the mind to be kind of exposed in a way that it's vulnerable. So it's not shielded by this eye that we create. So that's what we're doing. But it's really important to then, when you start to sit, or when whoever starts to sit, no matter if you're doing it for 30 years or your first day, but to sit down and then actually just be and feel the I was going to say brevity. It is brevity too. Feel the brevity of life and feel your groundedness. That's what they mean by becoming grounded. Ground is very important, and not up here. So this is the only time in actually life, or in the 24 hours a day, that this up here is kind of like a cleared. So it's not not the long list that we follow. Don't get too caught up in the long list that we make for ourselves, but look in front of you, and then see reality as it is without labeling it. So let the mind express what it is, but then don't get caught up in the thoughts of attaching to the thoughts of the mind. This week, I know probably some of you people have seen the building of the gate down in the lower parking lot, but the builders, they came last week, and they dropped off a wood for the gate, and this week they've been building a pole barn to shelter the gate, so when they construct it, it'll be out of the sun. Some of the builders are going to actually this it's a Japanese planing kind of convention, or it's like a planing workshop, kind of a competition in Japan, and it's I think it's called Kezurokai, which, so they have a planing competition in the Bay Area, and then they go to, then there's like thousands of people that get together in Japan, and they have these planing competitions, and it's amazing, because what Lucas and the builders were saying is that when they plane, they get fabricators for I guess blacksmiths, so they make the blades, and the blacksmiths, they're just like, it's just incredible, like how sharp these are. And so the blacksmiths, they get the tools, and then the carpenters come, and then they use the tools, and when they plane, I think they were saying they plane, like, I think it's like 4 microns, the thickness of the shavings, and I think like it's 4 microns. I think he was saying it's like 30 let's see, it's 30 times as small as a hair, as a piece of hair, 30 to 50 times. And I was talking to one guy, and they call it approaching zero. It's an interesting one. It's approaching zero. They were saying when they all get together, and then the one guy planes, everybody is looking. They're all looking, and then when he or she does the planing, then there's a moment that then everything is just silent. And that's practice. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing for Zazen. It's the quiescent. So in the Fukan Zazengi, Dogen talks about it's the peaceful repose and bliss. So a quiescent is actually it's a not active. And when it's not active, then it approaches zero. I thought that was really interesting to try. Not try, but it's the activity of approaching zero. And so it's interesting that the activity of approaching infinity, it's quite wonderful, right? So when we sit, it's you could say it's emptiness, or it's going in, or it's going out into infinity. And so the practice of Zazen then is it's cultivating and expressing then this direct experience on the cushion. So it's the direct experience that you as an individual, and then also not you. So you're one, and then also you're the many. So when the planer pulls on the plane, then there's this, everybody is there. I think they said there's this like silence, and then everyone goes and then it's back. Then it's back to regular relative world. So the work of the planing is very interesting. So approaching zero. So the thing is that they were talking about these guys that they wrap their tools in plastic, and then they put them in like 5 containers within, because the wood will get affected by the flowers on the altar. And humans don't know it, but we don't do any. We think we do everything, but we don't do anything. We think that we create everything. It's the same with the planers. They want to win this competition, or we want to gain enlightenment. But the planing, they were saying it's the humidity. It could be the person next to the planer, what he or she is wearing. So it's actually all the causes and conditions in the entire universe that will create the 4 micron. It's kind of interesting. So we're all connected. We're all connected in that way. So it's the Zazen. The Zazen, we're all connected that way. So when we start, then we have to understand to let this let the mind be, and then don't chase after these thoughts that we label as objects, as outside of ourselves, but just as an expression of our being. So therefore, then when we think, then it's the thoughts and the process of the whole body. It's our blood, it's how we see, it's how we think, is an expression. It's an expression of not ourselves, but it's an expression of actually the people planing in Japan. The expression of the camera, expression of Kanzeon. So that's it's a way different view of living life. It's pretty. I think they were talking about in one book a fathom, right? Fathomless. So it cannot be measured, right? I think a fathom, it's a measurement, but when you say infinity, it's still in a measurement, but it's a infinity measurement. So that's even still infinity, infinity or a fathom is great, but when we directly experience it, then it's not a concept. Even like when I say infinity, that's a concept, right? But when we directly experience it, then there's something that is it's present, and it's vibrant, and it's the emptiness, it's the vibrancy of then all the things in this room, outside of this room, inside oneself, your cells, the atoms, and everything. Then it's all then one body. It's quite beautiful. All one body being planed and built. Yeah. Maybe let's see if so this when we sit down, this quiescence, or this it's a peacefulness. It's a repose. It's a quiescent in which it goes down. So that's important, is to feel the body down. Link Rhodes 3 weeks ago, when we might have been a month ago, he was talking to us, and he says, "Put it down." You put it down means it's to the ground. We put it down, surrender it. And the Heart Sutra, at the beginning of the Heart Sutra, it says Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva. Kind of interesting. I was reading about Avalokiteshvara, and there Avalokiteshvara is right there. When we put it all down, and when the feeling, the sensation of our body is grounded, then there's a wisdom, or there's an insight in which then it's up. So Avalokiteshvara, I was reading that the translation of Avalokiteshvara is one who sees the sufferings or cries of the world, or meaning that there's one that looks down. So you have a very big view then of this this self, or this reality, in which is almost insignificant. So when you sit down and you feel yourself rooted, then there's a view in which then there's a magnanimous mind, a view. I remember when I was living at Upaya, there was we're going through hardship there, or maybe I was. I'll say I was. So I'd hike up to this this mountain above Upaya, and near St. John's College. It's Atalaya, and I would go and climb to the top, and I could see Upaya, and then I was all like, God, for days I've been just running around in this little this little area, and how insignificant it is. And then you can see the sky, you can see all things with this it's like a huge view. So human beings, we cannot see this big view, because we only see each other. What we create a lot of suffering because it's only on a human level. But when we sit down, and I don't want to say become the Buddha, but when the Buddha has arrived, then it sees everything. So that's the seeing. Avalokiteshvara means seeing freely. Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva, when practicing deep prajna paramita, the deep practice. So that's the Zazen. It's the deep practice. And it's interesting because Avalokiteshvara is also created then by Mahayana, but the seeing, I was reading about Avalokiteshvara, and of course there's this it's a case that I'll read, but the eyes and then the hands of Avalokiteshvara. So the eyes are its wisdom, it's the seeing freely. So it's when we see freely, when we arrive at the place that we are, and there is nothing except just the seeing and not labeling anything, but it's just the expression of seeing, and you directly, then everything is seeing you, and it's the seeing of seeing, it's great, it's big. But as practitioners, we need to double down. We need to really dig deeper in this lifetime. If we've crossed this path, right, in this lifetime, to dig deeper is the best thing that you could do for yourself and for all things in the world, whether they're animate or inanimate, because it's your own body. How could you not? Yeah. We create wars in ourselves, then we create trash, we live in our own trash. We think about our own trash. We produce our own trash. And it goes on and on. So boy, just to sit, to be where you are is disarming disarming this this I, it's quite wonderful. So there's let's see if I can. Yeah, what I was thinking was, it was interesting because Avalokiteshvara, it's the seeing. So Avalokiteshvara is this seeing, that it's also when one sees this magnanimous or this big view, but at that same time that it goes down and up, it turns into wisdom, in which then it's not Avalokiteshvara, but it's the wisdom that then is practicing wisdom. So it's Avalokiteshvara when practicing this deep wisdom, but then it has to go down and up in this body. So that's why it's really important to be upright, because the energy goes down and it's up. And when it's down and it's up, then it radiates in all directions. So down and up is not necessarily down and up, but it's all directions then. And then it covers all things, and then it includes all things. It includes love, hate, anger, the war inside yourself, the war across the world, everything. It includes politics, government, everything. That we are it. Yeah. So that's great, because it's the wisdom then that is sitting there. It's not you, and it is you at the same time, because you activate it, and then it's you and it's not you at the same time. But we cannot conceive of it because it's so limitless, bottomless, and boundless. So then that's why we sit, and then that's why we live in that way. That's why we live in that way. The quality of living with this life force of Avalokiteshvara. So even to come and be here today is actually not, it's not your choice. and it, even though maybe you thought of it and all that, but the expression of coming here is the life force of Avalokiteshvara, or it's the life force of this one body that has arrived. So it's the wisdom that has arrived and is making a decision, maybe, oh, you should come to the Zen center, and then when you're sitting, oh, this is not that fun, I could be at the beach or off of schedule from the Zen center. But somehow we have all arrived in this body, and in this body, and in this body, to become awakened. So that's waking up to reality, is waking up. It's reality right in front of us. It's how we live that is the awakening of awakening. I think that we're talking about waking up to the awakening. So therefore, when we wake up to the awakening, then we wake up to reality in front of us, without the reality expressing itself, but then not getting caught into labeling it as something apart from yourself. So therefore, when you see flowers on the altar, flowers die, the candle, they burn down, seasons change. The guy weed whipping out in the vineyard, he's gone, thank God. Thank God, but that's my eye wants him to go away. So those are all good things to look at, though, in your life when you're practicing. Look at how you label, how you pros and cons, how you deal, how this self deals. Be good like that, say good things, then don't get good things back. Not necessarily. Yeah. So through this big view, then you start to see that life changes around you. The seasons change. The weather got warmer, and then it could get colder. So if you know then that things change outside of oneself, then this self then must change too. But that's just by us observing. It's not doing anything, but it's facing reality in front of you and being very true to it. So then you understand, wow, the mind changed, the body changes. We're getting older, we're gonna die. It changes. And so then this I then starts to become more dismantled, unraveled. You would say then in your regular life, I don't know, regular life, in your life, then this I becomes more flexible. And this flexibleness is then emerging then with all things, and which is you become closer than to all things around you, because then this is the hands and eyes of Avalokiteshvara. The reality in front of you, this book is Avalokiteshvara. And maybe I think I should probably stop, because it gets complex, and and sometimes people say, Nyoze, make it really simple. And so I'll stop, but I'm going to read a little from here. Let's see here. This is Yunyan's great compassion, and the introduction here. I have to put on my glasses. I just read this. It's just the introduction. Crystal clear on all sides, open and unobstructed in all directions, emanating light and making the earth tremble in all places, subtly exercising spiritual powers at all times. Tell me, how is this manifested? Then there's the case. Yunyan asks Dao Wu, what does the Bodhisattva of great compassion do with so many hands and eyes? Dao Wu said, it's like someone reaching back for the pillow at night. This is a really interesting. I remember when I was at Eiheiji, training at Eiheiji, that it was all dark all the time, like all dark. So you couldn't see anything, and so even walking down the halls, you would have to like kind of like sometimes I'd like look up or look away, to find myself, not to look where I'm going, but to feel, with your feet. And so you feel everything with your feet and with your whole body, right? Interesting about that, there's the phrase of reaching back in the middle of the night to grab the pillow. Like who is that, or who is doing it when you're sleeping, and the mind isn't there, but it's a reaching. Once there was a mountain man who sold fortunes. After rain on the muddy road, he would wear pure white shoes to go into the market. And someone asked him, "You're blind. How come the mud doesn't soil your shoes?" The mountain man raised his staff and said, "There's an eye on the staff." The mountain man is proof. When reaching for a pillow at night, there's an eye in the hand. When eating, there's an eye on the tongue. When recognizing people, on hearing them speak, there's an eye in the ears. Yeah, I think I probably should, I'll stop.